All right, this is the 72 Dart, and what I'm working on is these rear windows, the rear quarter windows. And what broke inside there, I had all the parts, but these little custom rollers, and it's a two-piece roller. There's got to put your roller on there, but that's a piece that you can't fix or replace because it's on a little ball. So I needed one for each side, and they're not greased, they don't work. And basically the only way to get those out is take this stuff apart, and then that'll give you a chance to clean this stuff up so the new rollers roll right on there. Clean that grease off of there and put new grease. So basically this came out through the inside up here, and you're gonna have to stick your arm up in there, but no big deal. It won't go back in there right now because I have that little piece. That's the one we need to fix, and the only way to get that in and out is the holes up here. So the only way to get that in there, it's right there. The only way to get those out is to remove that from the thing and get it out. That's a stopper, so that's a little stopper piece. That's another track. So basically I'm going to unbolt this thing in two pieces. I think you can undo the glass as one option and undo the track. And it's been a long time since I had to remove this, so I'm not really sure how to do it. So I'm going to do it and figure it out and videotape it. So there's another one where the track's there. So there's not too many bolts. It's just kind of do one at a time and put it back together. Don't do them both at once, you'll have a mess. Now this is one of those projects that doesn't make any sense because it's just a few parts, and I want it to match the side panels and stuff. So I have this Speedo coat jet black gloss. I do not like the Speedo coat, but I want to use it up. But it's kind of a pain to drag all this out to paint these four little parts. That's when I just want to spray paint something with a can. But especially those, I want them to match the front door panels. So I want to use the same kind of paint on them, hopefully. Alright, these are some extra pieces to the Dart. That kind of shows you how these tracks are set up. The way to get these out is to slide these towards these holes. And the piece that I need to put in here that is broke is this piece. So basically this large roller has to fit in there. That's the only way to get it in there. And then I'm getting out of here. You can hear me talk. Well, for sure I see that those two stoppers are going to have to come out, because those stoppers are what prevent it from coming up out. So I'm going to remove the two stoppers first, even though I've already removed that, and then see where it's going from there. Also, you're going to have to remove this track, because that track also would stop it from coming out. So you got this one and this one. And okay, the big step I'm missing is taking the door panel and the armrest off and the seat, but that's be a whole nother video. So basically, you take this off. Got this off. You would have taken that off with the panel, but I'm using this to raise and lower the window. I've already taken those two out, so that's step one. Taking this out, step two. All right, I'm looking at this kind of being stressed a little bit, but you know, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more bolts. I mean, that's all that's holding this in. So I got one more track thing right there. So the next thing I took out was 4 bolts. I'm trying to put them in order here. This pointy one went in the center right there, and then this bracket came out. So I want to try to keep that in some sort of order there. And that's, you know, I think that's how you have to take the controller out, but I think the window comes out through the top. So I'm gonna just keep on going. I got 3 more bolts and this one, which is the upper track. So let's see what we got. All right, this screw, I took off the jam nut on the outside in the washer, but when I screwed this, now it's loose, but when I screwed it, it actually pushed it to the outside. So that's an adjustment nut of where this thing goes. That's good to know. So if that's going to pull it left or right when it's in the up position against the window felt. So to get it out, I tried to screw it all the way in so I could slide that out, but that ain't working either. Okay, when I do the other side, I'll try to videotape it better, but basically this came out first. You had to move these around, these 3, to get them out of the rollers, out of these positions. Then this was able to drop down in there, and then this bar here slid out of both tracks. I started to take the window off, but mine are frozen on there. I was afraid they were gonna break. So then I noticed that the bottom had fallen off, and then that piece was able to come right up out of the top. So don't want to mess that up. That's got to go back, but all this stuff needs lubed up. See, these are little wheels that don't roll no more. So I'm gonna get all that stuff. So hopefully now, to get those clips off, I basically just pried up against them right here, pulled them up out of there, and they kind of came back towards me. That's why I'm replacing that. That was the only thing left of this thing. Now I'm gonna go get some black, gloss black, and paint that. Try to do a little bit of rust preventative. I'm surprised that looks that good after all these years. And that should make that look real nice to put that strip back on there. Now I haven't tried to get that. Also, I'm thinking that the window might come out if this piece of trim wasn't on there, but got a screw right there. I may try to pop that loose just to get it, see if the window will come out. I don't really need it out. I would just like to have it out so I could clean it and grease it. It would just be easier to work on it. So I didn't have any profanity with these, but that's exactly what happens if you try to take those old rusted bolts off. I got them out. They didn't come out. They just twisted off. So luckily I have the other window and parts and pieces back there, Texas City, that I had here the other day, but maybe we will not try to take that side out because even though I got these parts, I don't know what kind of bushings and washers. I just gonna create more problems. So basically it's probably better to leave that part of the track in there. And in fact, I think I had this thing down in there low enough to pull this out. So I could have just maybe dropped it down in there and then taken this out. We will try that first on this one, and I'll videotape that to see if that's enough to drop it down in there to take without taking this thing completely out, because this just created a lot of extra work. All right, this time I'm trying to do this a little more organized. I took off the middle. I took off these 3 caps. Now I'm taking off these 2 inside guides. So the roller I need has to come out through the hole, and that's the problem, is this roller that we need to replace has to come out this hole to get it out. I don't think you're gonna be able to undo the clip from inside, because even if you undo the clip, that's still gonna be trapped in there. You're not gonna get it out. So you are gonna have to take this piece out that I had out. You just don't need to undo this piece from the window and take it out. So I do not recommend, or you're gonna have busted pieces. And this bar will not allow that to slide up there with that thing attached. I have to loosen the rest of these, which we were gonna have to do anyways. So 3 more. Okay, now it's really hard to see but there is a track built in here to the frame, and that is loosening. Hey, there you go. That pin has to come off that track that's down in there, and that gets this first piece loose. So everything's still connected in these things. So now I'm fighting and struggling with getting those off. All right, that was literally quite comical trying to get that out. Key is picking that thing up, making it small enough so it will come out and then pull up out of there. Now we're at that same spot where I broke the window. From here, if you got old stuff, don't take those out. Those are just gonna snap off like that. So I don't need any of that stuff off. I was going for this piece, which will now come out, and you could not get this out without taking these out. So that just was not gonna happen. Look at how rusty. I'm glad I'm in here, because that looks like that's a clip. Okay, so that's not the same piece, but see how those don't roll? I want them to at least be able to roll like that. So I want to get all this stuff working. That was the main reason to take all this stuff apart. None of this stuff spun like that, frozen solid. So I get the one off the other thing, and we'll try to spray these, let them soak for a little bit. But this and this, I wanted to get those off. So now I'm going to get this off, get that painted while I'm farting around here. There you go, get that out of the way. Okay, I just took this full window out with this clip, not unbolting it out. I held my breath, pivoted it the right way. Basically, it went down in there at the right angle, down in there just like that. So it will come out and go back in without unbolting it from that lower frame. So that's perfect. So there, I put it back in. Need two hands, but basically I could come out through the front. Pivots out. There you go. Did it with 1.5 hands. Now I can clean that, fix those rollers. I don't have to take apart that piece there, and that's what always breaks, because they're all rusty. They just bust right off. So don't take them off, just pull that window out. So that's pretty good review there of getting that out. Can be done. I couldn't do it on that one, so hopefully I got that extra piece, or I'm gonna be crying. Okay, my goal is to kind of rebuild these. I don't like that this is bending that out. To get those out, it's kind of permanently bending them. But maybe I can just bend those back with a pair of pliers. But in order to get these out, to make those roll, I believe they're supposed to roll. They probably originally rolled when they were new. It kind of rolls now. I've got it somewhat cleaned up, but I need to sand this with sandpaper to make that give it a little bit of slack room, and then we'll grease those up. Because what happening is, that's the track that lets out go up and down that on that track. So this piece has to move in these tracks along that track, and they don't want to do that. It's just like I think that's why they won't go up and down. All right, from here I want to do clean up these windows. I got this one and the other window, and it'll be reverse work. I'm gonna get some paint on these real quick, both sides, and then we got to glue that front piece. So we'll go back out to my storage, get that piece that it broke, which is that. Oh Lord, I hope that's not broke. Or maybe just use the other window that has that piece on it. I think the other window looks like that, where I didn't take it off. So hopefully that's the case. I can just use that piece. Well, take these off. Spray painted that just with some Walmart gloss black down inside. I'm gonna vacuum that down inside one more time. Did the same thing to that side. Sprayed it all just gloss black with a cheap old dollar can. Just all down in there what I can. I'll take this tape back off. I'm just trying to protect my real paint a little bit. So maybe while I'm waiting, I'll go ahead and, no, I want that to dry a little bit. I just sprayed it on there, so I need a few minutes. I'll let it dry while I'm gone. So that should look pretty good. Trying to find other things to do while I go get that other window. Gonna take the Haviland over there out to the farm, park it. So basically just ready for cleanup. Maybe I'll clean up that other one. I cleaned up the all the grime off of this. Cleaned all that up with a wire brush. Took a razor blade to the window, steel wool, and so this one's about good. I really want to get these wheels rolling, but I don't want to break that at the same time, and I don't have sandpaper, so I need some sandpaper to clean those. So I am going to work on that, but I cleaned that up pretty good both sides, so we should be in good shape to at least get one back together today. My goal is to get them both back in there, but hopefully that other window isn't busted like that one, because I needed two parts. These are special little swivel things that go inside these rollers, and it's rollers on both sides, and once those break, you can't replace them. Now, two of these are 40 bucks. There's a price. I bought it from MrMopar.net. And alright, I moved on to prepping this side of the project. That wheel's good, the clip's good. This one I thought had a clip on it, but when I started cleaning it, I realized no clip. The other thing that's important is all these teeth are actually good, so that was good. People didn't just use them and strip it all out. So we're gonna grease this back up. No need to really clean it too much. Lube it up real good. Gonna put grease on everything, grease on this swivel, but I want to get this one rolling because that's a problem when they don't roll. I want everything rolling good, even these. I want to get these rolling. So if I can get those rolling, that one greased up. It don't seem like that rolls. Golly, that just gets hard as a rock. Alright, these are the brackets, that's the windows connected to that piece that came out complete. Problem is, I busted off every single one of these. So I had to drill them all and retap them. So every single, there was actually two of them that weren't busted off. That one's one that wasn't busted. That's one that had to be drilled out. So I drilled it. You can see the reds down in there. But what you're gonna have to do is, I wouldn't trust these to hold because they're pretty loose. These are the ones that see, that's an original one that didn't get busted off in there, but it's still really loose. So what you're gonna have to put is like a nylon locker on the back. So you're actually gonna have to make it stick out and put a nylon locker. So those are the two. Driver's side. No, that's the driver's side. That makes that the driver's side. And two passenger sides that are broke. But I got all those drilled out. All these were able to come off. That's still one. Those just unthreaded, but I'm going to put new bolt in there. I'm going to put new bolts in there. And new plastic pieces in there. Whatever I can find to make that work. On this one, instead of just trying to break them off, this time I'm going to drill these out, get them hot. I'm going to center drill those both of them, and not all the way through. And then I'm going to try to unscrew them out. I know they're just going to snap off. I'm going to be drilling them out just like the other one, but I just want to put new bolts. I don't like having these old rusty ones in there. It could snap off. I don't know. It's okay. Drilling them out did nothing. All it did was strip them out farther inside. So basically drilling them from this side, they still just broke off. Same with this one, just broke off straight flush with the thing. So I'm just gonna drill them out just like I did the other ones, just keep going bigger, and then tap them with the 1/4 inch threads, and then I'll just replace these. So definitely, if you don't want to monkey with these drilling them out, I wouldn't, but these are 40-year-old and I just didn't want to, I wanted them replaced, so which is kind of dumb. No reason to replace it, just being kind of silly. All right, that's my window track ready to go back in there. I don't think I took those off when I pulled that out of the window, so hopefully it won't make it too hard to put together back in the window, especially this one. There's my setup for this. I could not find anything, so once that's a 1-inch bolt, and I put a thin nylon locker on the back. Probably didn't need that, but that's going to allow that not to move. I used a neoprene washer on both sides, and a metal washer, grade 8 bolt, so hopefully those won't rust out. My fear is that those may catch on something because they're sticking out. So if they catch on something, I will show in the video or just delete this. But my goal right now is to stab this in there, and it was really hard, but you saw I was able to get it in and out. Okay, these parts had these piece on there like this, and that's the piece that's locked up inside there, that last piece that I took off. The problem is these must be out of spec or warped, because I cannot get those to go on there and lock. They're too long. So I clipped 2 of these off. That was too much. I'm going to try just to clip 1 off this time. I have some pliers, and I just got in there and I nipped a little micro amount off because it would not grab it. This one I clipped 2 of them, and now it's a little loose. That thing's not supposed to spin, and it's spinning on there. It should lock, but it would not go under that thing with them tabs so long, all 4 of them. So I'm just going to clip 1 this time, see if I can get it to work. When I was putting this back together, it was freaking me out that I didn't know this was those pieces that were like 20 bucks a piece. So you have to take your old piece apart, because that's the piece that's broke off, the plastic piece. And that's what tracks in this track and the track that's inside there. That kind of had me, you know, I had double pieces, and I'm like, what the heck? But there you go. That's how those are going to work. That's how that's going to work up inside there. So that'll be the next step, to get that in there. I was looking at an old assembly manual, and I see that this piece that I finally constructed goes here, and obviously that goes like that, because that can't go like that. Can't go up in the air. That would stick out. So that goes inside there like that. And what I'm struggling with is what to do next. My thinking is, what I need is something to hold the back of this window up, because right now it's just sitting on there on the fender well on the back. So I think I need to put this in there first anyways, because this was the piece that had to come out. So let me screw these off, put that up in there, and then see if that corrects my problem. I don't find I have to put a cardboard in here. I have to put this window up. You can get this in here and have some room, but the problem is you can't hold the window up with one hand and put this in here with 2. So find a piece of cardboard. I got a short one, that was too short. So I got a 18-inch piece of cardboard, just folded it. It's not heavy. It just needs something to hold it up in there. Obviously won't go out the top, and I'm gonna have to lower this back down, put this in there, then raise it up, and then slide this. I don't know if I got that on film. I'm gonna have to lower the window, put this in the slot, raise the window, and then slide this back into that spot back there. This should be down in there about like that. Crazy. And I guess it probably can't come out because it can't get past the bottom. That's going to be way down there like that, so it can't roll out the bottom because the window frame is going to hit there before it comes out the bottom. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Once I put that together, slid that back, now that's given that 2 tracks of support in there to track that up. So basically now we got to get this center track in there. Okay, this piece goes in a hidden track right here where my finger is, and this hidden track is welded right in there. Very interesting. I just could not figure that out. So hopefully you cannot see it. My finger is right here in this hole, and the hidden track starts right here and runs right there. So you're gonna have to stick that piece in there, slide that back, put that piece in there, and then pivot this piece to go in that hole right there. I just don't know how I'm gonna do that, but and these pieces all crisscross in there, crazy. So you just have to do it in the order I'm doing it in, because this comes out first, and then you start taking out these other pieces, because you can take the window out separately and you can take this out separately. But kind of thinking you ain't getting that window out unless if you take this out first. All right, that screw that I put on the front to hold on the glass cannot go there. It's hitting on this front corner down inside there and not allowing that window to roll up the rest of the way. So maybe a problem with that being too thick, pushing that over that way. Hopefully I can get just a something to hold that, and a tool in the back there to get those off, a ratcheting ratchet, and same with that one, or else I'm going to be a big crybaby. Luckily, I could roll the window down, get to that. So I guess that's the way to be to get the window out, but you never, they just snapped off, the old ones. So hopefully when I put that on there, if I need to put the plastic shim in there, I'll do that too, instead of the rubber bushing. So let me take that out, and I'll put in the 3/4 inch instead of the 1 inch. There's the 3/4. All right, that works about as good as a window will work. This was so hard to do. 2 people, 1 person adjusting the glass. I'll put everything kind of back where it was. The final adjustment is down here, in or out, and then that creates this piece that goes up in there like that. You can adjust these for the back, and also this one helps adjust that piece so it's not hitting up against the metal frame, which it just barely clears. And man, that makes a lot of dinky 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 for old sweeping the window, and goes up in there nice. So I think that is as good. I'll put more grease on it before I cover it up, but I don't like the transition going up, and that's why these things always get stripped out, because little kids play with the window back here. Oh, look at that. That goes up like that. Well, that's the sweep. Not real impressed, but when it goes up in there, It all sweeps up in there. Oh, it goes. That's why that's gonna get messed up. I wish that would stay closer over there, but that pivot's weird. So I think that's about as good as a 50-year-old window is gonna work. And make sure that is in the up position. Nice, not halfway down. I see it crinkles the thing there, even there too. So as long as those are soft and pliable, that's gonna work. But you know, out here when it's up, that's about as good a position as you're gonna get. So I'm gonna put these stoppers on there. I'm not sure what the stoppers do because you want it up against the window there. But maybe when you close the door, maybe you want to block it so it just barely cracked up like that and not really closed. But that's the thing, I feel like you always have to adjust this back window so the front one will close right. So definitely not stopping the water from going down in there, especially there. Got two weird pieces, but this isn't touching nothing because the glass goes up in there. Weird. Now on this window, the pitch here can be adjusted by this nut and pushing it back. So that pushed that back. And then you can change some adjustment by moving these up and down for the height and back. So somehow I got this pretty good right there and at the top now. So that closes pretty doggone good. I could probably adjust that out just a twang. I might mess with it a little bit. Okay, that took 3 hours. That sucked. All right, step 1 was to slide the window down in there. Step 2 was to put this piece, the window felt, on there. I'm taking this back out because I need the short bolt. Step 3 is to slide this piece up in there and in here. So let me get to that point. I'm actually greasing this ball bearing. I don't know if I should or not, but I'm just kind of greasing stuff up. And then my final thing, I'm just going to go in there and just blob grease on everything before I cover it up. So the first thing I need to do is pull that off. Then you need to put the second thing, put that up, slide this piece, then this piece hangs there first, and you got to get this in there to track over that way in that hidden compartment up in there. Pull that just past to get it up inside this piece to slide up without having it fall off. But this side out here is jacked, so I need to push that bottom of that window out. I need to kick this out, and in order to do that, I have to adjust this one to kick the bottom out. So I'm gonna give that a try. Okay, just cut the crap out of my finger, but I got this first panel done. It did not come with this hole for the window opener. You had to put it where you wanted it. I guess different models have different stuff, but I was using a hole punch and I got right. I was holding it and went to hammer it and sliced right down the side of that razor blade thing there. That was no fun. Kind of ruined my night. But anyhow, I got all the clips back in there in the right place. Already kind of tested it to fit all these holes. But yet I wanted some tar paper or something to keep this from splashing on the back. It didn't really have anything but crap plastic. And these were expensive. Crap plastic or cardboard. So there we go. That stuff's going to be covered by the seat. So if that gets down in there, it's just going to go underneath the seat. But what are you going to do? That's going to splash up in there, and ain't no way to seal it out. So let me pop that on there. All right, this has been a very trying project. Now I'm missing the handles, so I need to go find them. I need to figure out where to exactly place the holes because there look like there's a lot of options. So before I get all crazy punching holes in that brand new thing, and my front ones, I just painted them. They were green and those look fine. I bought new handles. The rear handles looked good, the new pull pieces, and used cups, pull handles. So I'm gonna go try to find them right now. I'm tired of messing with this. I like to just get this seat in and get this together and move on with this project. Golly.